Hello and welcome back to another episode, and it's good to be outside. The sun has been shining for the last 2 or 3 days and it's starting to dry the soil out. It's still quite cold in the evenings, it's getting down to about -2 at the moment, but it's great to have the sun back at last. Now, I've had a few emails asking about the raised beds. Where did I buy them? Well, I actually made them, and I've got 2 here, and I need to build a 3rd one, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. All I need to make the raised beds is a screwdriver, box of screws, and some angle brackets. Now, one thing that I did do which saved me time is I give the builder where I bought this wood the measurements of the raised bed, so when the wood turned up it was already cut, and that's something that I would recommend you to do, especially if you haven't got the facility to do it yourself. So let's put the first screw in. I put 2 brackets on each corner. If you have an electric screwdriver, obviously you'll do it a lot quicker, but I haven't got one, so don't put it too tight at this point. We'll tighten it up once everything's in place, and put another one there. And then we'll also do the same on the other side. The cost of doing the bed this way, I think, works out to about £12. Box of screws is just about £2.50, £3. These are about 80p each, and then the rest goes on wood and delivery. Now let's move on to the sides. So just make sure it's all the way up to the wood, and then screw it in, and we'll put the rest of the screws in later. And I'll do the same on the other side. And then go around all the holes and fit some screws into them. So there we have it, that's another raised bed done. It's going to stay here for the time being until I get the land prepared next door, and then I'll move the raised bed over. Now, I've had this product for a while, and seeing as the sun is out, I thought I'd get the thing out and set it up for a few hours. It's a solar panelled fountain. So I'm going to put this on the pond, and it's very easy to do. You just connect all the bits up together. That's the solar panel there, and then it comes with a few different bits that you can have. So I've decided on this fountain one, and then this bit of polystyrene keeps the motor, which is under there, afloat in the water. So let's set it up and see what displays we get. Now, I've already put a spike in the ground where the solar panel will go, and all we need to do now, I'm just going to test it for the time being. I'll make it look all pretty in the summer, so because I'm not going to leave this in the pond now because it's still getting down to -2 of an evening, so I'll just put this in for a few hours and pull it out and see what happens. Oh, there we go. And obviously when the clouds come over, the fountain will go down, because you do need to have, as you can see there, direct sunlight. I think I'll leave it there for a few hours just to add a bit of interest. to the plot. But like I said, I'll take it indoors before I leave, because the wire here could easily break in the frost.
In this bed last year I grew some of those heritage peas, the ones that grew 10 foot tall. Well, this year I want to use it for some wildflowers, so I'm just turning the soil over and taking the grass out. Now the seed I'm using is from one of these packets, and this packet is a display of red wildflowers, so it's just a case of putting it over the soil and then mixing it in. I'm just going to add a few handfuls of good quality multi-purpose compost on top, and then give everything a good watering. Now, a product that I had great success with last year is Slug Gun, and you just put this on top of the soil and it actually stops the slugs from attacking your seedlings. Now, I was looking behind the greenhouse yesterday and I found this pot that I'd forgotten about, and it appears to be full of tulips, so all I want to do to it at the moment is just go through and take out a few of the weeds, and then I'll put a new layer of compost on top just to give it a bit of feed, and then I might move it and put it onto the patio. Another area where I'll be planting some wildflowers is just adjacent to the patio. I had a wonderful display here last year, so I'm doing the same again this year. But at the moment I'm just preparing the ground, and I'll sow seed another day. It's good to see some colour back in the garden, and these crocus are putting on a great show.
Now, a job that can be completed in February is to plant some fruit bushes, and now is the best time to put them in. You just dig a big hole and put in some manure in the bottom, and then you put the plant in, and don't plant it any deeper than the depth that it was in the pot, and then firm it into the ground by putting your boot in, because they like to have a firm bottom. And then get the watering can and put a full watering can of water on top, and that's all. That's how easy it is to plant your fruit bushes.
This is my neighbour Kai. Kai took this plot on about 11 months ago.
So what's going on today then?
I'm going to build a large wall, a retaining wall at the end of my plot, so that I can then put another wall on the other side, fill that, so it's a very narrow raised bed.
It's really impressive what Kai has done in only 11 months. This is how her allotment looked when she took it on last year. What are the plans for the allotment?
A different range of everything actually going all the way through. There are already onions and garlic in. There will be leeks. I'll find the strawberries and raspberries at some point, and the rest I'm sort of winging it at the moment.
Along with my other allotment friends, Jeff and Vivi, I'll catch up with Kai later in the season.
I've come inside the greenhouse because it's turned very chilly. All of a sudden it's dipped. The highest temperature in the greenhouse over the last few days has been 27, and the coldest is 3.5. And they do say, I have heard that there's a possibility of a lot of snow in March. So I'm not going to be putting out as many things as I planned until I see that information for myself. But I'm in the greenhouse, and I thought it's about time we had a bit of a catch up on what happened to the seeds that I sowed in January. And these are the microgreens of the broccoli, and this is actually perfect now. So all you do is just go over with the scissors and pop them in your salad, and it is quite amazing, but just something that small, pop that into the mouth and it actually tastes like the bigger version. Beautiful. Next door to that, the antirrhinums are just showing sort of the soil there, and the leeks have also made an appearance, and they'll stay in this pot until it's time to put them outside. Now this is the one that I'm excited by. This is the goji berry. So that's what it looks like when it first starts popping its head up above the soil. And everything else is just waiting to come out of the soil. But there is some movement on the covue tronchuda. Now this is the cabbage plant that, if you remember, I said the other week, I saw this on the Harry Dodson TV show, The Victorian Kitchen Garden, and that's made an appearance, which I'm really pleased by as well. And here are the sweet peas. This variety is Blue Shift, and they're just poking their heads up above the soil as well. Now the soil is a bit dry, but because the weather is threatening frost tonight, I'm not going to bother to water these until tomorrow morning. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put the propagator back on top, just to give them a bit more heat. It's nice to see some greenery coming through the soil at last, especially with the goji berries. I'm interested to see how they turn out this year. Now, every few weeks, it's a good idea to go back into your tin or your bag where you store all your seeds and just have a quick look to see if there's anything that you've forgotten to sow. And I had an email the other day from a viewer in New Zealand, and his name was Bob, and he was asking me what the RHS Award of Garden Merit stood for, which you see sometimes on packets of seeds. Well, it just so happened this week the RHS was having an event, so I popped into London to find out what it was from the horse's mouth.
The RHS Award of Garden Merit is given to a whole range of plants. It covers from houseplants, trees, shrubs, perennials, vegetables, but it's an award that makes it easier for the gardener at home to choose plants that will grow well in their garden if they choose the right plant for the right situation. And it takes into things such as the disease and pest resistance of a variety, if it's a kind of vegetable, how well it will crop, how well it will grow in the garden. So when the gardener goes into a garden centre or a plant centre and it sees a plant that's got an award of garden merit, they know that they're getting a plant that will perform in their garden. This Streptocarpus chrysalis was given the Award of Garden Merit in 2002. It's a really great Streptocarpus for a house plant. It repeat flowers over a long period of time. It's got these wonderful white flowers with blue veining, and it's actually very easy to grow in the house. So it's a great plant for someone starting off with house plants, and hence why it's got the Award of Garden Merit. And here we are with the rhubarb Timperley early. We've been forcing this variety, and hence you can see the lovely pink shoots. But this is a great rhubarb that can easily grow in any garden throughout the country. It's got good flavour, a real good performer, and that's why it's got that coveted Award of Garden Merit. When you grow this in your garden, you're getting a good plant. This is Hamamelis intermedia Angela. Beautiful yellow flowers, spidery flowers, lovely citrus scent that comes from it. And this will grow well in a kind of shady part of a garden. Beautiful, beautiful plant, and always giving these wonderful flowers which are very, very frost resistant. So again, it's a plant that performs. You grow this in your garden and you're getting something that will give you a great show, especially during the months of late January into February time. When you see the AGM logo on a packet of seeds, you know that you're getting a packet of seeds that whatever's inside them will actually perform for you in your garden. If people see the Award of Garden Merit, they know they're getting something good that's been trialled, that's been assessed by plant specialists and nurserymen throughout the length and breadth of the British Isles. So they know that they're getting a good performer, but it still has to be put in the right situation. You couldn't plant a house plant with an Award of Garden Merit out into the garden. It's choosing the right plant for the right situation, but using that Award of Garden Merit just to make it easier. So when you see 20 plants in front of you of the same thing, thing and you see one plant that's got the award of garden merit, you know that that will be the one that will grow and perform best.
Now this week I'm interested to find out if there's any plant that you've always had a problem in trying to grow. So put in the comment section below what the plant is, and don't forget to tell me where you are in the world. The sun is starting to set and the temperature is already starting to dip, so I'm going to pack up here and head home. I'll see you next time. It's been quite windy over the last 24 hours. The chair's ended up next door and the pond has got a new bag in it, so I'll take that out in a moment.